evening, everyone, and welcome to virtual bedtime stories from your very own Newark Public Library. As always, we're recording this live story stream on land that rightfully belongs to the Lenape Indians, and if you are tuning in from anywhere in our fair city of Newark, New Jersey, you are probably also on land that rightfully belongs to the Lenape Indians. I'm your host, Mix Alley. That is Mix, just like mixing bowl, not to be confused with Ms., Miss, Mr., or Mrs., because as you can see, I am not a boy, nor am I a girl. I am a non-binary unicorn, and my steadfast storytelling companion is a boy unicorn. Please welcome back Jonathan Van Unicorn! Hello! Mix Alley, why are you so much quieter than usual? Well, because it's bedtime, Jonathan. I didn't want to add too much volume to the game when people might be getting ready to go to sleep. Oh, I suppose that makes sense, yes. All right, Mix Alley, I approve of that decision. I'm glad you do, Jonathan. Are you ready for some bedtime stories? I am, Mix Alley. What are you going to read this evening? Well, you know what, Jonathan? I've been really enjoying what we've been doing lately on Virtual Storytime, where we've been reading our picture books in the morning and our chapter books in the afternoon. But before we started doing that, we had been reading folk tales in the afternoon, and I've missed that a little bit. So we are going to read a very bedtime-appropriate folk tale today called The Stars in the Sky. Oh, that sounds marvelous. You know, I'm very well acquainted with every star in the sky. I'm sure you are, Jonathan. So you'll be able to tell everyone later whether this was an accurate depiction of star culture or not. Oh, yes, I'll be taking very careful notes. Unless I get too sleepy, and then I'll be resting. I think resting is a great idea, Jonathan. All right, okay, I'll just go right over here. All right. Well, as Jonathan and I were saying, we're going to read a wonderful folktale from England called The Stars in the Sky, and then we are going to do some bedtime breathing before we all turn in for the night. And this folktale comes from The Maid of the North, Feminist Folktales from Around the World, by Ethel Johnston, well, edited by Ethel Johnston Phelps, and with illustrations by Lloyd Bloom. All right, so here we go. The Stars in the Sky. There once was a girl who wanted to touch the stars in the sky. On clear nights when she looked through her bedroom window, the stars twinkled and glittered in the velvet blackness of the sky above. Sometimes the stars seemed like diamonds, sometimes like tears, and sometimes like merry eyes. One summer evening, the lass set off to seek the stars. She walked and walked until she came to the dark, satiny surface of a mill pond. "Good evening," she said. "I'm seeking the stars in the sky. Can you help me?" "They're right here," murmured the pond. "They shine so brightly on my face I can't sleep nights. Jump in, lass, and see if you can catch one." The lass jumped into the pond and swam all around it, but never a star did she find. She walked on across the fields until she came to a chattering brook. "Good evening," said she. "I'm off to find the stars in the sky. Do you know how to reach them?" Yes, they're always dancing about on the stones and water here," chattered the brook. "Come in and catch one, if you can." The lass waded in, but not a star could she find in the brook. "I don't think the stars come down here at all," she cried. "Well, they look as if they're here," said the brook pertly. "And isn't that the same thing?" "Not the same thing at all," said the girl. She walked on until she met a host of little folk dancing on the grass. No taller than herself, they seemed very elegant in their clothes of green and gold. "Good evening to you, little folk of the hill," she called, taking care to be polite. "I'm seeking the stars in the sky." High silvery voices rang out. "They shine on the grass, here at night. Come dance with us if you want to find one." The lass joined the round ring dance of the little folk and danced, but although the grass twinkled and gleamed beneath their feet, not a star did she find. She left the dancers and sat down beyond the ring. "I've searched and searched, but there are no stars down here," she cried. "Can't you tell me how to reach the stars?" The dancers simply laughed. Then one of the company came over to her and said, "Since you're so set on it, I'll give you this advice. If you won't go back, go forward. Keep going forward, and mind you take the right road. Ask 4 feet to carry you to no feet at all. Then tell no feet at all to carry you to the stairs without steps. If you can climb them..." "If I can climb them, will I be up among the stars in the sky?" she said. "If you're not there, you'll be somewhere else," said the little man. And he ran back to join the dancers. With a light heart, the lass stood up and went forward. Just as she was beginning to doubt that she was on the right road at all, she came to a silver-gray horse beneath a rowan tree. "Good evening," said the lass. "I'm seeking the stars in the sky, and my feet are weary. Will you carry me along the way?" "I know nothing about stars in the sky," said the horse. "I am here to do the bidding of the little folk only." "I've just been dancing with them," the lass said, "and I was told to ask 4 feet to carry me to no feet at all." "In that case, climb on my back," said the horse. "I am 4 feet, and I will take you there." They rode on and on until they left the woods behind and came to the edge of the land. Before them, on the water, a wide, gleaming path of silver ran straight out to sea. And in the distance, a wonderful arch of brilliant colors rose from the water and went right up into the sky. "You know what? I think that was a rainbow." "I've brought you to the end of land," said the horse. "That's as much as 4 feet can do for you. Climb down now. I must be off." The lass slid from the horse and stood on the shore, looking about her. A large fish swam in the sea. "Good evening, fish," she called. "I'm looking for the stars in the sky. Can you show me the way?" "Not unless you bring the word of the little folk," said the fish. "I can indeed," she answered. 4 feet brought me here, and I was told no feet at all would carry me to the stairs without steps." "In that case," said the fish, "I will take you. Sit on my back and hold on tight." Off he swam with the girl on his back, straight along the silver path toward the bright arch of many colors. As they came to the foot of it, she saw the broad stairs of color rising steeply into the sky. At the far end of it were the merry, glittering stars. "Here you are," said the fish. "These are the stairs without steps. They're not easy to climb. Climb them if you can, but mind you hold fast and don't fall." So she started off. It was not easy at all to climb the bright-colored light. She climbed on, and it seemed she moved very slowly. Although she was high above the sea, the stars were still far away. She was very weary, but she thought, "I've come this far. I won't give up now." On and on she went. The air grew colder, the light more brilliant, until at last she reached the top of the arch. All about her the stars darted, raced, and spun in dazzling flashes of light. Below her, stretching down into darkness, were the brilliant colors of the stairs without steps. She had reached the stars in the sky at last, and she stood transfixed with joy at the sheer wonder of it all. After a time, she became aware that the air was icy cold, and the hard, brilliant light of the spinning stars made her dizzy. Shading her eyes with her hand, she tried to see the earth below, but that was all in darkness. No warm flicker of hearth or candlelight could be seen. Then, in one last yearning effort, she stretched out her hand to touch a star. She reached farther, farther, until suddenly she lost her balance. With a sigh, half of regret and half of contentment, she slid down, down, faster and faster into the darkness below, and all sense left her. When she opened her eyes, it was morning. The sun shone warm and golden on her bed. I did reach the stars, she thought with joy. But in the safe stillness of her room, she wondered, or did I dream it? But then, she opened her tightly curled right hand, and on her palm lay a brilliant speck of stardust. And that is the end. Thank you so much for tuning in for virtual bedtime stories from the Newark Public Library. We will be back with more stories tomorrow morning, but first, let's all finish getting ready for bed with some bedtime breaths. All right? Make a phone with your hand. We're gonna take some deep breaths together just to make sure that we're calm and ready. Who knows, maybe to touch the stars tonight. All right, so take a deep breath in. And take one end of your phone and use it to cover up one of your nostrils. And let that first breath out. Switch fingers. Breathe in. Hold that breath and breathe out. And switch. We're going to do this 2 more times. Breathe in. Nice work. That's a great way to breathe before bedtime to help yourself calm down, help chase away any anxiety or fear or worry that are bothering you before bed, but you can do it anytime during the day too. And either way, Jonathan Van Unicorn and I are here to help you out. Have very sweet dreams, and we will see you back here for more stories tomorrow. Night.